This Sonics home ticket telecast brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
Everybody, and welcome to the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington, where tonight the Supersonics, winners of the Pacific Division crown, meet the two-time reigning world champion Houston Rockets. And a couple of clubs that are going in opposite directions, certainly in the month of March. Along with Marques Johnson, I'm Kevin Calabro. In Houston, they're calling it March Sadness, a 4-9 March that saw Drexler, Casal, and Ellie miss the entire month. Akeem missed 5 games, so that leaves them with Robert Horry and a few of the lasting remnants of that championship team.
Yeah, it leaves them with Robert Horry, but the thing about Robert Horry, he has tendonitis in his right knee. He sat out a couple of games about a week ago. He played 41 minutes last night against Golden State. He shot 1 for 10, just had a terrible game, even though he did pick up 13 rebounds. You know, Horry, just a great long-range jump shooter, kind of soft inside, gets it done mainly from the perimeter. Detlef Schrempf will be matched up against him tonight, and with that sore leg, Detlef has got to continue to put offensive pressure on Horry, make him play defense, and make him run the court.
You know, the Houston Rockets, to their credit, and Rudy Tomjanovich obviously has a great deal to do with the fact that they've gone out and they have acquired, in situations like this, talent that have helped them. That was the case last night. They've
scoured the CBA trying to find that missing link, and they've come up with a pretty good one in Sam Mack last night. 38. That's right, folks. 38 points. Outstanding three-point field goal percentage. Knocked down his free throws. He's getting the minutes. And it's not like he's a one-shot success. He has averaged 22 points a game over his last 4 ball games. They picked him up for defensive purposes. He's proved to be an outstanding offensive pickup for this basketball team.
As for the Supersonics, what a game last night for Detlef Schrempf. Stiff neck and all.
This is how Detlef was running around the court all last night, but he had his eye on the rim and nothing else. He was just shooting the heck out of his jump shot. Detlef did a great job and just played a terrific floor game. He rebounded the ball, played great defense, played defense against almost all 5 players on the court, including the middleman Karl Malone. Just had a stellar performance. Inside, outside, you name it. Schrempf did it. Looks like the neck is just as stiff, but hey, if he gets the same results, who cares?
And a sensational effort turned in, particularly in the 4th quarter when he scored 10 of his 12 from Nate McMillan.
Yeah, and Nate, you know, he's going to play his usually gritty defensive basketball game, but he knocked down some jump shots, came up with a big offensive rebound, put back for the Sonics, just showed a lot of hustle. He's the guy that can fill up the stat sheet. Mac 10 in the house, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. 22 minutes. They're going to need more contributions from McMillan until Vincent Askew can get right. And speaking of Askew, nice job, a little drawn kick, and watching Nate kind of lean to the left a little and knock down a big jump shot in the 4th quarter to keep the Sonics run alive.
Now, as always, on our home pay-per-view broadcast, Mitch Levy is standing by. Mitchell.
All right, thanks very much, guys, and good evening, everyone. You know, it's been a topic that's been discussed over and over again. On March 1st in Boston, forward Shawn Kemp hurt his right foot. I contend he's never been the same. The numbers kind of prove it. Is he healthy? That's the question. Points per game, down 4. Rebounds per game, down 2.5. Field goal percentage, down 7. You know, they were talking about Shawn Kemp as an MVP-type candidate before that injury. That type of discussion has subsided. Why? Let's get back to Kevin and Marques.
Well, that's a good question. I think due in large part to the fact that Gary Payton now has taken on the role as a leader of this ball club and has carried him in certain instances.
Yeah, they've got contributions from everybody. I think Shawn was slowed initially by the injury. I think he's at full speed now. Teams are double teaming him as they've done all season long. He's just struggling to find easy ways to score.
This game is an opportunity for George Karl to get Shawn Kemp involved. That's what he told us before tonight's game. We'll be back with the lineup and the tip in a moment on the Sonics Broadcasting Network.
Night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
All right, welcome back to Key Arena, where the Sonics have dominated teams 33-3, and tonight they meet the 2-time reigning world champion Houston Rockets without the usual cast, as we've touched on. Olajuwon is not here. Casal is not here. None of the champions are here. They're all convalescing. They expect to have him back on Tuesday. We'll be right back with the lineup and the tip in a moment on the Sonics Broadcasting Network.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for
You know, the Rockets, winning the last 2 World Championships, have done it by winning short series on the road. Now, whether or not they can continue that luck or that ability is, of course, up for question, and we'll probably get that answer in about 3 to 4 weeks. But the Sonics, obviously, were the last team to beat Houston in a short series in 92-93. Actually beat him in a 7-game series as they moved on to the Western Conference Finals that year and beat the Phoenix Suns. And Gary Payton was there, leading the Sonics then, as he is now, 6'4" and 190 in his 6th year out of Oregon State. He'll team alongside Hersey Hawkins, 6'3" and 190. The veteran out of Bradley, class of '88. The center for the Supersonics will be the vastly improving Irvin Johnson, playing with more and more confidence as the days progress here in the final weeks of the season. 6'11" and about 250 out of New Orleans in his 3rd year. Detlef Schrempf, 6'10", 235. An exquisite ball game played last night, coming up with the 29-point effort despite the stiff neck. And Shawn Kemp. You saw, we talked about the numbers in the pregame show. George Karl told us on the radio show that tonight he would use this game to try to get Shawn Kemp's offensive confidence back. George Karl in his 5th season with the Sonics, assisted by Bobby Weiss, Terry Stotts, and Dwayne Casey, along with Tim Gergridge. The trainer is Frank Furtado. Let's take a look at the Sonics as they match up now against the Houston Rockets with Marques Johnson.
Going to start it off with the big guys. Chucky Brown, about 6'8", 225, too light in the wallet to deal with Shawn Kemp. This is the perfect bust-out game for the Rain Man. At the small forwards, Robert Horry with the sore knees. This is the battle of wounded knees as Detlef has recovered from his, playing outstanding basketball. And in the middle, Mark Bryant averaging 23 points, 8 rebounds over his last 3 games. Irvin Johnson also showing a higher level of consistency as an offensive player. Should be a good matchup. In the backcourt, Sam Mack, who is he? Everyone wants to know. Well, they'll see tonight Hersey Hawkins playing his usual stable game with the Sonics. And then Gary Payton, Kenny Smith, 2 fine point guards. Kenny Smith out of Archbishop Malloy High School in New York City. Kind of got buried in the rotation. He's back in it now. Gary with a 10.9 assist game last night. I expect that he too will look to have a bust-out offensive game against this short-handed Houston Rocket ball club.
Scott Ellsworth, our statistician, reminds us that the Sonics are 8-0 on back-to-back games when the second game is at home.
Yeah, 16 and 5 on back-to-backs overall, so that's a great stat provided by Scott Ellsworth, as usual.
And since Detlef Schrempf came back with the Sonics on January the 21st against Dallas, the Sonics are 31 and 4. They were, of course, 14 and 5 in his absence, and he was absolutely huge last night for the Supersonics. Our officials tonight are Jess Kersey, Ron Oleksiak, and Mark Wunderlich. And we are underway with the Sonics winning the tip easily. Payton will bring it across midcourt with the usual scornful look on his face. Swings it topside to Kemp, in low. Detlef with it. Pump fakes, double team. Kemp outside. Hawk off the double screen. Fires a 3 that floats off the mark. Horry grabs the rebound, and here come the Rockets. Smith up ahead to Mr. Mack. Mack out of Houston in his 2nd year. Sidewinds with a dribble beyond the 3-point ring. They feed it low with it. Mark Bryant in a low crouch. Bryant turns into the lane, sweeps up a hook that's short. Kemp comes over for the rebound, and he'll bring it across midcourt with a flourish. Double teamed. He picks up the dribble to Detlef. Sidewinds into the lane. Double team. Pumps off to Irvin. Might have walked. Hops and delivers a jump pass outside to Payton. Over to Detlef. Inside to Kemp. Overplayed by Horry. Tapped away, and Houston will control it.
And that was one wasted opportunity. Shawn Kemp had Robert Horry deep in the paint, but the pass just couldn't get there. Horry with a good defensive play to deflect the basketball.
Houston basketball. Chuck Brown with it outside to Smith. In low, they go to Chucky Brown. Steps to the baseline. And Mark Bryant skips it across the baseline, and Robert Horry will collect it. Crossover dribble into the air. 15-foot floater short. Rebound grab by Detlef Schrempf. Detlef works it to midcourt. Sam Mack is in the lane as the safety valve man for Houston. Schrempf cross court. Payton pull up 3. Misses. Rebound grab by Sam Mack. Loops it ahead to Kenny Smith. Smitty down the right side. Quick burst of speed off the Brown pick. Brown's supposed to curl outside. The ball gets away from him. Jabbed away by Kemp. He couldn't control it as he races out to midcourt after it. It will be Houston ball.
And both teams a little tight. Both teams again played a game last night. Houston guys, their guys with a little bit longer minutes. So it takes a while for players to kind of shake the cobwebs off.
Houston ball inbound, and Kenny Smith will handle it. Smith rolls off the Bryant pick, high left side, top side it comes to Brown. Swift swings it out on the wing, it comes to Ori. Jabs right, cuts left into the lane, double team, skip out to Mack. Over to Ori, raises for the three, it's short. Ori has the rebound come right back to him. He saves it in play right to Smith on the far side. He'll pull up and flick a three, and he hit it.
Robert Ori, his first couple of shots have all been short.
Seattle back the other way, long lead pass out of backcourt intended for Detlef. Goes too tall, too high, out over his outstretched right hand, out of bounds. Second turnover on the Sonics.
After the Sonics had the great energy to start the game off last night, this is one thing that they have to guard against with this team, especially realizing that the main players, 4 of them aren't here. It's a weird, unique situation to be in.
Ori backs down, turns up with the left-hand hook, won't go. Rebound is Shawn Kemp. Shovels it out ahead of Payton. Looking left and right. He delays outside. Works the dribble, pumps it past to Detlef, backs in. Hands to Gary, turns the corner beneath the rim. A reverse pass outside, head of the key where Kemp will trigger the 18-footer, won't go. Rebound is grabbed by Chuck Brown. And the Sonics having a difficult time. 0 for 3 and 2 turnovers here in the first 2 minutes of play. Top side with it, Robert Ori out of Alabama. What a rookie year he had, winning a world championship. In low, Mack, drop step spin. Kemp was there to deflect it, but he was well over the cylinder. That is goaltending. The ball goes in any event and give Mack the deuce. It's a 5-0 Houston lead. Back come the Sonics. Kemp beats the pack back and jams it down between Chuck Brown and Sam Mack.
But that was Irvin Johnson, Gary Payton getting the ball out awful quickly. The Houston Rockets were kind of lumbering around half court. Shawn was able to beat the entire team down court.
Kenny Smith with it. Out high left side to Sam Mack. Puts it in low with it. Mark Bryant. Max turns, follow-away jumper, and he got it. Mark Bryant out of Seton Hall. Quickly the Sonics on the attack. Kemp inbounds to Payton up the floor to Hawkins. Outraces Mack to the rack. Max was there to block it, but goaltending is called on Sam Mack, and Hawkins will get the bucket. Another quick inbounds pass, Mark.
It's something I think George Karl must have picked up on film, that these guys don't really hustle back in transition, especially after made buckets.
Rockets lead it 7-4. Smith out high left side to Mack. In low. Johnson trying to get out in front of Mark Bryant. And we've got a double foul called. Personal foul call on the 2 will be on Bryant and on Irvin Johnson. Whistle by the redhead, Jess Kersey.
Red trying to keep things clean inside. You had Irvin and big Mark Bryant really doing a job trying to battle for position.
Smith shuffling his feet out high on the right side. Marcus Johnson and Jess Kersey exchanging notes before the game, folks. Marcus tried to talk Jess into changing the NBA rule book to no avail. Here's Brown in low to Bryant. Kemp making Schrepp coming in from the weak side, collects the pass. He had a right to be at the spot, but Bryant was airborne and careened right into Detlef and caught a shot right in the chops.
Yeah, Bryant definitely took the worst of that exchange. Nice defensive rotation by Detlef. And the left elbow catches Bryant upside the head and sent him down only momentarily, though he's a little shaken.
So Bryant gets his second personal foul in a space of about 10 seconds. 7-4 ball game. Shrimp out high left side, covered by Ori. Whips it mid-block. Kemp steps up and he powers into a two-handed jam.
And see, the thing about a Chucky Brown at 6'8", about 220, is that he's not as difficult to screen as a big power forward. So as a guard, Gary Payton goes in there, gets a good piece of him to free up Shawn Kemp.
Houston on the attack. Mack in low. His shot rejected by Irvin, but it slipped off the side of his hand, grabbed by Bryant, and he'll roll to the hole and lay it in. Back come the Sonics on the attack. Detlef outside from Gary. Fires a 3-0. Rebound deflected. I think Kemp had a hand on it. Grabbed by Hawk. Feeds it low to Kemp. He doesn't want it. He'll take it outside, fling it top side to Hawk. Over to Gary. Slashes right to left. Tried to ease one up over Ori, but it's blocked and a foul called. Looked like Kenny Smith had bodied Payton in the lane.
I think this is the type of game that if the Sonics can muster up just half of the energy output they put on display last night in Utah, they can gain control of this ball game early. As Mark Bryant has to take a seat. The 2 fouls, that's also a good sign for the Sonics, as Chilcutt is not a particularly strong interior defensive player.
Payton sinks the free throw. Gary on the board for the first time tonight. Sonics over the last 7 games have averaged 113 points per. Man, that looks like that point per game average looks like one of those teams that played in the 70s we talked about last night. The Lakers in 71-72, when they had that great year, 69 victories, averaged 121 a game. Sonics would fit right in. Here's Smith outside. He'll take a 3. Johnson steps out and spanks the shot in the backcourt. Smith sprints back after it. No change of possession. 8 on the shot clock. Smith clears midcourt. Double team. Steps outside to Ori. Trying to go cross court. Knocked down by Hawkins, but right to Ori. Floats a 3 at rims. Won't go. Kemp comes down with a rebound. Tangled up with Irvin Johnson. He's on his back. puts it behind his back, swings it to Irvin, up the floor to Gary, one-on-one, maneuvers into the lane, out to Irvin, trailing a 15-footer, and he plants it. Oh, that's all good, and that is tonight's Sonics right there. Instant replay.
Irvin Johnson showing the ability more and more, vastly improved to knock down that open 15-foot jump shot.
Oh, just a great scramble play. Left side Smith, in low Max, side winds and drop steps by Peyton. Got a 5-footer to hang on the rim and fall. Back come the Sonics. Peyton into the lane. Dumps it outside. Kemp takes it running. Pulls up and sinks an 18-footer. The Rain Man from Gary Payton.
We talked to George Karl after the game. He's taken the shackles off of Shawn Kemp's mind. He is now allowed to shoot that long jump shot when he has it. And George talked about Shawn being able to shoot. That's the main thing. He's got the nice stroke from long range. He can knock down that shot. Now he needs to develop his confidence in taking the shots.
6:36 remaining in the first quarter play and a timeout called. 11-11 ball game. Back in a moment on the Sonics Broadcasting Network.